Hello and welcome to the Comicspiracy, episode 206 for the week of whatever today is. April 20th. April 20.
We're all screwed up. It's the 420 week, man.
Shut up. 2050. So it's actually for the week of 421 because I won't say 420.
You just said 420.
2015. My name is Ryan Higgins. Who is here with me this week?
Brock Sager.
Toby.
And Charlie.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Ryan.
Brock wouldn't take one for the team. I was fine having Ryan Scott not be able to get into the store to record the Geekbox last night. But you didn't want to go, Brock, the thing we're about to talk about.
Yeah?
Why?
Because you just start and I'll tell him in a minute.
He's roadie blocked, that's why.
Me?
Yeah, I'm a roadie. I got prior obligations, man.
Your prior obligations is to go see trailers for Batman v Superman.
Well, there's the other problem. He doesn't like Superman.
That's true.
I know. I only half like this concept so far.
Well, the rest of the podcast last night went to the IMAX theater down in Mercado, down in Santa Clara, California, with 100 other people, 150 other people.
Something like that. I was surprised how many empty seats there were.
Well, here's the thing. Last week, the Batman v Superman. I got to keep putting Batman first. I got to remember that.
Just say Dawn of Justice.
The trailer leaked.
BVS.
Yeah.
No, the trailer
teaser
leaked on, what, Friday?
The teaser leaked
Saturday?
on Friday.
Yeah.
On Saturday, Zack Snyder put up the full trailer on his Twitter, high def and everything like that. And they said, hey, we're going to have a special screening Monday at IMAX theaters. This was on Wednesday.
Well, they had already, I was going to say, they already had done the email promotions, etc., to get people to sign up to go to this trailer.
Right, so we had all signed up to go see the trailer. They said it would be like a 10, 15-minute thing. They kind of give you a little intro. This is similar to the Guardians of the Galaxy thing that I know, Charlie, you went to before the movie came. But that was really close before the movie came out, right?
Yeah, that was fairly close.
Yeah, we're still a year out.
I went to that one, too.
Did you?
Yeah, but I didn't make it in.
He got blocked.
Oh, okay. Well, this is 11 months from the release of Batman v Superman, so obviously, they're trying something a little different here. But they wanted to give fans a chance to see the trailer in IMAX, the way the movie, part of the movie was filmed. And they said we're going to have they said we're going to see the trailer. Then it leaked. Then they put up the high def version online. And then they came out and said for people to see it in the theater, not only are you going to see a short extra scene, we're also going to give you some freebies, some free swag, much like the Guardians did. I mean, like a lot of people assume that. So we get there. You never know how these things are going to turn out. We got there about 2 hours early. There was a handful of people in front of us. By the time they opened up, I mean, it was a good crowd. I mean, it wasn't like opening night of a movie crowd, but you figure 100 theaters with a couple hundred people each, hey, they got a good crowd of people out there just to see this it's really a 3-minute trailer they just showed. They showed it twice, right?
I actually liked the fact that they had the introduction by Zack Snyder, the trailer. Zack Snyder is talking about what you just saw and what to look for before watching it the second time.
Yeah, then they ran it again. Yeah. I actually think the funniest part, but then we'll actually talk about the trailer a little more in depth here. The funniest part was when it ended, and it was just stuck on that Batman, like that hashtag Batman v Superman, and it just kept looping the same like little 5-second clip, and then like the lights never came on. Everyone was just like
laughing at that point.
Is it over? Like, are we here for something more? Is there like something after this?
I thought we were supposed to start touching each other's hands.
Well,
sing Kumbaya.
Well, when we're there, they're like, if you videotape this, you'll be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. We have night vision goggle security here. I'm like, bullshit. Mercado's lucky it's standing. Like they don't have night vision on their security. But you shouldn't videotape that stuff anyway.
Yeah.
So, we got in and they showed. Charlie said Zack Snyder came out on the video, did a little intro.
With the Batmobile in the background.
And that's what I was going to get to. So the trailer we had all seen, the extra little scene we'll get to in a second. But probably the coolest thing is actually the first real shot of the Batmobile.
A very clear image of the Batmobile.
No, didn't they release something online like the same day or earlier the day with a basketball player who really liked
DeAndre
Batman.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some showing.
They were showing the bat, the Batmobile in the back and stuff like that.
Yeah, so the shot behind Snyder was, I mean, just he was in the Warner Brothers lot. It's actually totally rare. He just was. My friend took me through and walked me through a part of the lot on the lot tour, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's exactly where he was, just on the WB lot.
You just missed the day that they were shooting with that Batmobile.
Yeah, it would have been like a couple days ago probably. So then they had a very clear shot of the Batmobile. Looks awesome. The Tumbler is the Tumbler. It's big, huge, and gigantic. It's not really the Batmobile. I love it, but it's not the Batmobile. This doesn't look like the animated Batmobile.
The Tumbler is a work in progress, man.
Well,
that was one of the things I liked about this Batmobile is it looks like in a way, a compressed version of the Tumbler. Mm-hmm. Like it's still taking elements of the Tumbler,
but it looks closer to like the more traditional Batmobile silhouette, if not actual look, because it's a little brownish almost.
That's part of the reason why. Like if you look at getting to the trailer a little bit. If you look at it from some of the shots from behind in the trailer, it looks very sort of similar to the Tumbler from behind. But it looks like they kind of condensed down the front a little bit and sort of...
Like they smashed it down and pulled it out a little bit.
It's that more elongated Batmobile that we're...
They went with the Batman from the Michael Keaton Batman, kind of, let's stretch it.
Yeah.
Tumbler it. And then add a gun turret.
It does look like it's kind of got a bunch of parts on it.
Yeah,
like
it's got a
Tumbler.
It's got a gun turret on the top, and it has a couple other things.
Yeah, but definitely a little closer to the original one. Earlier that day we also saw before the trailer there were much nicer shots, and actually there's a lot more now of all three of the costumes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't seen Wonder Woman. I've seen the other ones.
Yeah, Zack Snyder's been super busy on
social
Twitter
media stuff.
leading up to the trailer premiere and all that.
Yeah, so for everyone that thought, oh, this movie's going to be a bunch of weird drab colors and stuff, no, it was. I mean, this is just like these promo shots for for those posters. The Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman costumes, they look like Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. I mean, they're the traditional colors. Batman, you've already seen Superman's. Batman it's a lot of kind of, it's a little gray.
Yeah.
It does
armory.
It's more armory, but he is huge. Yeah. Huge. Not like tall, not fat, like wide.
He's built.
Yeah.
Yeah, that suit looks crazy, and it looks a little kind of scratched up almost, like very beat up. Mm-hmm. The Wonder Woman is just straight up Wonder Woman. I mean, these colors are toned down. They're not like super crazy, cartoony colors, but they're all traditional colors, and there's some really good shots online from multiple angles of all the different costume parts, so you get a really good idea of what it's going to look like. I'm assuming everyone listening probably saw the trailer, but if you didn't, a couple good shots of Batman, our first real shots of Ben Affleck as
multiple
Bruce.
Versions of Batman even.
Yeah, Bruce and Batman.
Mm-hmm. I was even just talking about the Batman costume, because you get a look at sort of the more traditional look of Batman, then the one at the end is more of like armored up.
The suit, the armor suit.
So that's the scene from Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Right? That's the scene, the whole part where Superman's in the sky and Bruce has got the kind of armored helmet on and everything, which a lot of people made the connection, or made the comparison that it looks like the Lego Batman from the Lego movie.
It does.
Because he's got like that bulky kind of helmet on. It does. But that costume looks sweet.
Yeah.
I'm just the fact that they're putting them together in the movies finally. Like, I'm so excited.
I mean, I have no issues with the look. Zack Snyder's films look amazing.
Yeah.
Story-wise, though, that's what I'm not looking forward to.
Well, hopefully this one's better.
Hopefully. Crossing fingers.
There's a lot of people nitpicking there's a shot with, it's a little harder to tell in even the HD one, but when you see it in IMAX, you can see it a lot better, where Bruce is or Batman's on top of like a scaffolding or something.
Yeah.
He's got like a sniper rifle. So we're really going kind of Dark Knight Batman here, which, he has used guns in the past for non-lethal means. So, I'm curious to see what they're going to do with this. I'm sure some people will complain that he's even holding a gun, but just because he's holding one doesn't mean he's going to shoot it.
That's okay. It will have some sort of weird bat motif on it, and it won't fire bullets.
Right, exactly.
It'll fire bat bullets.
But the shot of Superman saving like that, I think it looked like a Russian.
It looked like a helicopter.
Well, there's that, but there's a part where he gets like the shuttle, like he's holding like that
He's
shuttle.
shaving
craft.
it like a bus or like something.
Well, it's like the top of like one of like a shuttlecraft that comes down, like the little
spaceship.
Yeah, like the
rocket?
little ejector part that the people come
pod.
down. But the whole like do you bleed that line. I'm sure everyone's heard that. But the thing that probably most people haven't seen is the shot that they did show after the trailer. So we got a very quick 5 seconds, if that. I mean,
I was going to say if that
very short, but. Zack Snyder comes back out and says, hey, we got the Shortlow scene in IMAX, so be sure to look for it, because this is actually one of the shots in IMAX, so this is part of the Superman Batman, The guys always fight before they team up. That's just how it works in comic books. And who doesn't want to see a Superman Batman fight? The screen pops full IMAX, so it expands out, and like much like Dark Knight and a bunch of other movies have done, where they have the
because the opening scene for Dark Knight, it's like the whole fucking screen.
Yeah.
And
IMAX,
then after that 15 minutes with Joker and the bank robbery, it goes down to
normal,
normal
screen size. We get a great shot. Superman kind of getting up from, I don't know whether he was knocked back or.
Well, I'm assuming it's right after he landed.
It looked like he was sort of had been pushed back, or
when he landed, he kind of like crouched down.
Maybe I kind of thought maybe
he didn't like slowly land. He kind of did the like quickly down to the ground and kind of crouched down. So it looked like he leaped forward from there.
Maybe he got exposed to kryptonite.
Well, I thought it was kind of like they were both blown to a corner, and then when it's happening, Superman kind of does like the speed run forward. Batman kind of gets up, and then you have the classic X-Men sort of all the characters running towards each other scene, and they're coming at each other. Batman's got his hand up, about to get his throat. Superman's coming in with the fist, and it
must be later because they flipped. In the trailer, when you see them facing each other, Batman is on the left and Superman is on the right. When they charge against each other, Superman is on the left and Batman is on the right.
Not as far as I recall.
No,
really?
You see Batman from behind and Superman's in front of him, above him.
Yes.
So if you were to... I mean, I guess it depends on what side the camera's on. But I don't think that's the same scene. I
don't know.
It looks like it's around like a building or something like that. Like I don't think it's a direct...
Well, in the 5 seconds we got to see, they're charging against each other.
Yeah. Cool.
Let's just simplify it.
Yeah.
Now, to clarify your earlier call out of me and not wanting to go...
I'm just making fun of you.
Oh, I know, but I decided not to go because I saw the trailer. I felt I didn't need to go wait.
I'm sure that's why the theater was half empty, because most people were like, what's the point?
And then, I had to set up for the Geek Box, so, I had that obligation. And, it's one of those things where I don't really need to see a trailer like that.
Okay.
I mean, I know you guys got the posters, which I thought...
Well, we did. I was going to finish up and say, so we got 2 posters, which they did reveal those posters over the weekend. One with Superman with like a Batman logo, like
ripped
paper,
over his eyes.
kind of ripped over, and then the reverse Superman Batman with the Superman.
Yeah, again,
logo
I like
ripped.
half of that idea.
They're awesome.
The
posters.
Batman poster looked cool, but then it had a Superman logo on it. The best part of the trailer that I liked was the fact that the Batman logo overshadows the Superman logo.
Well, that's just how they fit together. But unknown to anyone until we got there. Well, that's not true, because I'd seen people on the East Coast that started to mention it. They actually gave us... we had to fill out...
They collected email addresses.
Right. In which they will send us somehow, at the end of February 2016, a free pass to see Batman v Superman in the theater. We saw the preview in the IMAX version and everything for free.
That's
hopefully
awesome.
it's not 3D.
A week ahead of time.
That's
hopefully
awesome.
It's not 3D.
So
who cares? If it's free, I'll take it.
It's free, right? Exactly. If it's free, I'm not going to complain.
Yeah,
So
I'll go watch it again for and pay for it. Not 3D.
yeah, watching the movie, watching the trailer twice, having seen the Batmobile, seen Zack Snyder. Okay, that's cool. That's awesome. I love to see this stuff. Oh, the posters, cool. They're sitting in my closet. They'll sit there forever until I do something with them. But actually getting to see the movie for free a week ahead of time, I mean, they're losing. Well, they're not going to lose, because hopefully people will go see it again anyway. I'm sure I will.
Yeah.
But, they're giving out potentially, 50,000 free tickets to a movie that anyone in that theater would pay to see the movie nearly regardless. So,
but I always thought that was a nice thing to do because the people that will come out to watch the trailer are people that really want to see this movie. So
also, assuming it's the typical kind of preview ones, you're also surrounding the movie critics with people who are most likely to love the movie.
Now, I know Guardians, when they did their sneak preview, it did not have the after credit scene. So, of course, we've done movie outings, so we're going to do one for Avengers next week.
Monday.
Well,
Woo-hoo.
We'll talk about that in a few minutes here. But we're going to do a regular screening for the actual theater. So even though we're going to see Avengers on Monday next week, I would go see it Thursday anyway, just because you have no idea.
Yeah, I'd go see it Thursday anyway as well.
Preview copies don't always have all the same material that are in the regular ones, especially for like post-credit scenes, for fears of leaks or whatever. So.
As long as they don't pull a Pixar and like a couple months later do different end credits.
Oh, Jesus. What'd they do that for?
Just to get more people to come and watch it again.
Oh, really?
All the early Pixar movies, they would do a few months later, they would put bloopers at the end of the movies.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Nice. I've seen those.
Yeah,
they were quite funny though. It was almost worth it just to go watch those again.
Well, you normally get that's normally what they put on the blue DVD and Blu-ray, right?
Well, of course, but this was
but
before
Pixar. This is not
doing
real bloopers. These are like bloopers they had to actually create.
Yeah.
So, totally worth going out to. We sat there for 2 hours, but cell phone days, sitting in line doesn't matter.
See, to me,
we had 20 people there. We just
exactly lines don't matter when you're surrounded by people and can talk. And
the conversations I had there, or whatever I was doing, is the same thing I'd be doing if I was sitting at the store.
I will say this though,
it's no different.
Despite me not going,
you hating?
Hey, I tweeted that I was watching the shop for your ass.
Yeah,
and I got retweeted by Batman v Superman, the official Twitter account. So,
well, I'm glad you watched the shop, and I'm glad we went. Do you guys worth it? Free ticket alone, right?
Yeah,
the free ticket alone is totally worth it. Yeah. Whatever that's going to happen or not, it's up for questioning.
That's the other thing it could not happen.
Well, that would be a problem if it didn't happen.
When I missed out on Guardians and Galaxy, they said we're going to get in for free too, but that never happened after. But that was a theater call. That was that's not a Marvel Studios Disney call. That was a theater call. Yeah. So whatever.
Not to mention, I think most of this kind of stuff, because we gave them our email addresses. Yes, some email addresses are going to get typoed when they're being typed into the mailing list, and that's just life.
Yeah.
Right. Wait, they didn't have tablets where you inputted it and then just hit
that will just take forever for us to get out.
Wrote it down on the back of a piece of paper they gave you and turned it in at the end of the movie.
Nice.
No, that's fine.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fair enough, but I had my wife fill it out just because she has much more legible handwriting than I do. And there was one of them, she's like, I'm going to write this again, but capital, so they can tell that's an
Yeah,
L,
I actually did that too. I purposely capitalized everything to make it super clear. But they did say in fine print, that they're not responsible for lost tickets, whether it's you or them. And if it's illegible, they're not responsible for that either. So.
All right.
Yeah, but no, it's totally cool. This is for the fans, obviously. Give a little free swag and free ticket. I think, sure, why not?
And in Ryan's case, he got to write a paragraph.
Ryan wrote a little sob story. And
Leanne, unfortunately, could not make it, so I wrote a thing that said, she likes, obviously, coming to theaters with all of us to see the stuff. So
she does?
Yeah, she does. Well, here's the thing. If I go see a movie without her, and then...
Tell her about it.
And then I want to go see it again. She's like, you already watched it. I'm not going to go. Something like Batman, Superman, she would go see it. But, for Avengers, she's going to come with us to the thing because she couldn't come on Thursday anyway, so it'd be fine. But, obviously this is something she would want to go do. So I wrote, hey, my fiance at the last minute couldn't make it. These tickets are good for 2. If you can, please email, if it's okay to email her a ticket.
And nobody thought to ask for my email? Avengers.
Well, we had.
No,
Well, here's the thing. I didn't want to push Ryan's luck, so I let go that
true.
he's the one special guy.
Yeah, the rest of us were like, we're not going to write a paragraph.
No.
They're going to take one look
Yeah,
at that
because-
and just
because-
burn his ticket.
The lady even kind of gave me a look, and she was like, I don't know.
We all wrote paragraphs. It'd be like a no-go for anybody.
Yeah. But you don't want to see it anyway, bro. You
Yeah,
can come to the-
you
I
don't
want
want
to see half of this movie.
you can come to the regular screening with us.
He
We'll go
wants
see it
the
too.
edit Toby will do just for Brock.
No, I don't like Brock that
I
much.
just want Batman.
I don't like Brock that much.
Batman: Dawn of Justice. That's the movie I want to watch.
So is he allowed to put Wonder Woman in still?
Oh yeah, that's fine.
That's the Toby cut. It's Wonder Woman only.
So, yeah, I mean, we got 11 months. I'm sure we're going to see Wonder Woman in moving form some point very soon.
Well, they're probably going to do
by
another.
Comic-Con. We'll have a full
They'll do
trailer.
they'll do a
absolutely.
full big huge trailer.
Yeah, by Comic-Con. I do before we move on to anything, before we get too deep into this podcast. So if people are listening, I want them to know. If you are listening to this Tuesday night, which goes up, or Wednesday morning, or any time really, Wednesday before 8 p.m. our time.
We told you last week too.
We did. And so everything we told you last week is pretty much what's happening. We are giving away 4 tickets to see Avengers Age of Ultron this
Yay.
upcoming Monday, whatever
The
that
27th.
is, 27th,
I'm going to enter.
at 7:30 p.m. at a theater local here to the South Bay. I'm assuming it's Mercado. I don't know.
Oh, they haven't announced yet?
I don't-
Theater?
They could do Saratoga or they could do
Right.
do Valley
I
Fair.
don't know what theater it is. So Sunnyvale, San Jose, Santa Clara, Mountain View, Palo Alto. South Bay, if you're down here. I mean, it's worth it, I guess, if you want to see it from coming down from SF. But it's a theater here. 7:30 p.m. on Monday. We are going to have 4 tickets to see it. 1 winner. You also get a T-shirt, a couple posters, a swag bag.
Swag bag.
We will have a post on our Facebook page for Comics Conspiracy, the retail store. That should be facebook.com/Comics Conspiracy. That should be what the link is. I'll double check that, but that should be the link. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. To 8 p.m. At 8 p.m., we will pick a winner. 1 winner at totally random. The post is
What do they have to do?
It'll be like, name your favorite Avenger, and that's your post.
Okay.
And you just put an answer, like the page, reply to the post.
Do you get extra points if you say a brown coat Avenger?
No.
Okay.
No. I will
I tried, Toby. I tried.
I'll sit next to that person if they like a brown color.
I will pick a person completely at random. You will be responsible to come down to the store.
How do you do random? Do you point with your eyes closed?
I
and then you
will
open them?
get a random number generator.
That's how I figured you were going to do it.
1 through X, whatever the total number of entries is, and just random. That's your winner.
And then when it comes up Toby, he'll have to strike that. Do it again.
Unfortunately, Toby, Charlie, Brock, and Marshall
But I want to lay down and watch it that way.
And family
are not eligible to enter. So no, we're not going to rig it. But at the same point, if you win and you only have 2 people, let us know, because we have many people that would love to come to this. I'm sure we can fill those other couple tickets. So yeah, that's what we have to do. That will be on April 22nd, 11 a.m. PST.
Tomorrow.
That's tomorrow from the recording of this podcast. Comics Conspiracy Facebook page.
It'll
Go
probably
on
also
there.
be on Twitter. You're probably going to.
I'm gonna put it on
blast
Twitter.
up on
We're gonna
Twitter.
we're gonna actually we'll put it up there. So plenty of chance. We'll give people the whole day to reply.
This is really cool, though. actually.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Disney and Marvel.
that's really sweet.
Reached out to do this, and
Does every store have one, or
Yeah.
how's it go? Because I saw Isotope doing something similar.
I'm thinking it's probably one in every major region. So
That's
South
pretty cool.
Bay, San Jose, San Francisco. So you
That's
do have a
cool.
choice. Isotope has it up. Theirs was today, so you missed it probably already. But, it's sometime today.
I want to win them all.
So ours is going up tomorrow. So definitely, I hope you win, and you'll get to sit with us too. Because actually, I don't know about that. I thought it was reserve seating.
Uh-oh.
It's just VIP, which means we go in. We don't have to wait in a line.
Oh, okay.
So we just go straight in. So we may be able to sit wherever.
So we should show up before they let people in.
They said they're letting people in at 6:30.
Let's be
Is
there
when
at
the
6.
lineup starts. Something like that.
Okay.
VIP is probably let in at 6:45 or 7.
No, it's any time before 7:30 we can go in. We don't have to wait in any line. And the winner of the prize also VIP. No, there will be other giveaway tickets there, but we're free entry. I believe there's probably some sort of reserve, but
we're VIPs, but we don't know how the seating's going to be.
Right. I mean, there's still a little of this up on the question. So I wouldn't show up at 7:25. Because it starts at 7:30.
Well,
so
when are we? We're all showing up at trying to show up.
I mean, I'll get there.
6:37.
My hope is shut down the store and go. So you shut down at 6 and be there by 6:30.
Is the Geekbox recording this week?
We're gonna just figure something out. Yeah, we're just gonna move.
Hey, Brock, you're working.
No, I'm going.
No. Yeah.
No, I'm going to this one.
Yeah, no, we all are. So. Whoever wins, you can come sit with us if you would like. Or
Marshall is working.
Well, Toby will find his special seat, and maybe Toby, I will sit with you in your special seat if Leanne.
Wasn't it a good seat when we watched BVS?
Fine, yeah, I'm a back row guy. I like sitting in the back row. I don't like having people behind me.
It's all because I'm always sitting in front of him, and he's always like, "Damn it!"
Stuck behind the giant again.
No, I can still be. I mean,
are you scared that someone touch you from behind?
No, I just no.
Now, wouldn't it be scarier if you're sitting in the back row and still someone's touching you from behind?
That would be scary.
Yeah.
So Trevor was sharing a story yesterday about sitting in the back row during arachnophobia, throwing popcorn at people.
Oh.
I'm just like, Ryan was probably in that theater.
No, I never would see that fucking movie. No way.
Is Bryce going?
No, he is not.
Oh,
no, Bryce.
Sorry, Bryce. But Bryce is coming with us on
Thursday. Yes.
There's no X-Men in this movie.
It's Marvel.
But there's no X-Men. There's no Scarlet and Quicksilver are Inhumans in this, so he's not coming.
Actual employees only.
Yes, but that means the
and
often missing Marshall will actually be
Sunday
there.
Marshall.
So if you're a podcast fan and you want to meet Marshall, the mysterious fifth Beatle, you'll have
he doesn't want to meet you, by the way.
Chance. Right, exactly.
He won't be here, though.
Huh?
We'll be closed. He won't be here.
No, he'll be at the theater.
On Thursday or Monday?
No, on Monday.
Oh, is it there?
Yeah, whoever wins.
Sweet.
You can sit next to Marshall.
Yeah.
I will be making his day.
So don't forget to enter that. We'll give that
That's
away.
really cool.
And yeah, we're supposed to get the tickets Friday, so pickup would be Saturday, Sunday, Monday, somewhere in that range. We'll contact the winner. So hopefully it's someone that listens to this
You get
podcast.
to meet Marshall if you come on Sunday to pick up the tickets.
No, I'll be working
Charles?
Sunday still.
Charles.
Yeah,
Xavier is working.
Yep.
All right,
Not in a wheelchair.
Let's get to some questions.
Well, we're in trailer news here because that FF trailer, that second Fantastic Four trailer came out. Would you guys? Someone jump in?
It's much better than the first trailer.
I would agree,
but I'm still not sold on it. So this is actually, we didn't really talk fully about impressions of the Batman vs Superman teaser, and I realized
we all loved it. I mean, I don't think is there a ton to talk about. We talked about what was in it. I
enjoyed it more watching it in the theater, but I'm still not completely sold on the premise that they kind of put forth through the teaser.
Yeah, I have to add to that. I have people at work going, "This is the stupidest idea ever."
Batman, Superman?
Yeah, they're just flat you go, Superman would just kill Batman. Why are they fighting each other? Blah 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 blah. And then you got my sister who's texting me. I don't understand why they would fight each other. They're pals. I mean, just seriously, what she texted me. She goes, "Why are they fighting each other? I don't understand."
How comic books work.
I guess my thing is yes, no matter what it was called, there would be a fight between Batman and Superman in it if they're both in the movie.
Were people complaining about the Iron Man Cap Thor fight in Avengers?
No, but that's not necessarily my complaint.
But it was not called Cap versus Iron Man versus Thor.
My general kind of sense from the trailer it's weird. If you wanted to say this took place 20-something years after Man of Steel, I'd probably buy it. If it was 15 years after Man of Steel, I'd probably buy it. But there's this whole idea of people already treating Superman like a god. He's already got statues. It just kind of feels like the way things got left, it was sort of towards the future, and they didn't quite trust him yet, but they weren't necessarily. It's just a weird jump to go from.
Okay, well, fuck the Fantastic Four trailer. I guess we do have more to talk about this. Well, for me, this feels like a natural progression. You have Superman, his first big outing. Metropolis is nearly destroyed. Clearly not the best first outing. And this was sort of a rumor early on that, hey, maybe the sequel will be literally about half the people love him, half the people hate him. And that looks exactly what we're getting. So, I mean, you know, I had the discussion again today. It's like I can't go 5 minutes without this. The whole argument of, oh, why didn't they just fight Zod in space or whatever? Because that's not how it fucking works. When me and Brock get in fights, I don't drag him across to the high school to beat him up. We just fight in the store where we're standing, right?
In front of all the customers.
When I throw you out through the window, then we start moving in that direction.
Yeah, but when you throw me out, that's going through like one building for Superman and Zod. Like they fight where they are. Zod was going to kill everyone. So anyway, so you will have obviously a group of people that really distrust Superman and people that really trust, you know, the people that love him or worship him or whatever the thing is.
Well, we know
hero.
4 people love him.
I guess the thing is I've been sort of thinking about this more and more, and I need to go back and watch Man of Steel, but there was still sort of a distrust within the government to a degree. I mean, he brought down a drone at the end of the movie and pretty much said,
stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just a weird leap because I understand after Superman has been around for a long time, saved the day a long time, sort of the idea of building up this sort of god not Superman thinking he's a god, but people starting to treat Superman like he's a god.
Oh, I can see that happening very quickly.
No, that can happen very, very quickly. I mean, it's one of those things where, I mean, this teaser just kind of shows us, like, here's Batman, here's Superman. You know they're going to fight. That's why we put a V in between the two names instead of just doing Batman, Superman, Dawn of Justice.
Well, and think of the name of it is Dawn of Justice. So you know the movie ends. I should say I don't know. I assume the movie ends with
the formation of the Justice League, or we're forming the Justice League.
They are like, hey, why are we fighting? I'm here to do good. Batman, you've got the money and the tech.
You know what it is?
Luthor's the bad guy.
You know what it is? We're going to get that cover from Justice League Zero from the Meltzer run where it's them kind of looking, who should we get on our team?
That'd be great. I mean, people assume Batman and Superman are always buddies. We're going to see the start of it now. You know, I mean, people complain about origins in superhero movies, which I agree. I mean, they do it too often. This is a different type of origin, though. This is the origin of their friendship, of their formation, and something we've never seen before.
And that's just sort of the...
Not in a movie.
Okay. Pretty much all my nitpicks kind of has to do around the status, it seems, of Superman at this point. It just feels like it's too soon to get to that point. And while I understand,
if a flying alien showed up tomorrow and wrecked this,
the entire world would be talking about it.
He would be a god symbol, like on Twitter 5 minutes into it.
Maybe within certain cults, but not to the point of people erecting statues and writing false god on them and such like that. I don't.
Well, and the other thing is, I mean, this is definitely a Batman that's been around for a little while. So I mean, I think Charlie's right in saying that depending on how much time is jumped from Man of Steel to this movie is really going to hinge on the story. And that's the thing, is the movie looks amazing from the trailer. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that it's going to look fantastic. And hold on, the Man of Steel trailer did the same thing for me. I was like, holy crap, this movie's going to be awesome. And then it didn't pay out for me. And I think that coming out of Man of Steel into Batman v Superman, that mentality is kind of lingering. So there's this, it's going to look great, but is it going to hit on the marks it needs to hit on?
All I'm going to say is this. If Superman came into the world today, Bill O'Reilly would be calling him a false god tonight on Fox, okay?
Fox News would be plastering it all over. Oh, he's they would be just slandering him like there's no tomorrow.
Exactly. I don't see anything wrong with this.
Hashtag, just so you know, we don't watch Fox News.
The reaction of the modern day to any sort of event like this would be instantaneous. And especially like an obsessive cult, like all the guys with like the white face bands, or like the Superman guard guys like kneeling down. Like, I'm very curious what's going on with that. And I know he's listening.
Superman is listening?
No. One of our listeners was an extra on the set during that scene with all those guys with like the face paint and everything like that.
Wow.
And we are. He's looking at his NDA, and we are looking to ask him what he can talk about. Or
hopefully he told some people while he was working about this podcast, and that they should be listening to this podcast. Specifically, certain people that might be able to pass it on to other people.
Absolute worst case, if we can set up something to talk with him about this more when the movie comes out. Yeah, because obviously at that point NDAs are pretty much whatever. But we're gonna see.
Well, did he have a fun time doing it?
I think so. I don't know if he's allowed to tell me, but I think
he can't even tell you if he had a good time on working on a movie set.
NDA.
Jesus.
I want to be an extra.
I wanted to add, it seems like this may be the Superman movie I've been dying to see since Superman Returns. When they announced Superman Returns and the synopsis they gave us, I really thought we were going to see the Superman 775, the Superman versus the Elite kind of storyline, where I thought Superman is going to come back to Earth, and the people didn't want him. I mean, how do you help the people that don't want to be helped, right? I thought Lex Luthor is going to be president at that point, and he's going to totally fuck with Superman's mind. So this seems like it could go that way. I mean, this is, like you said, Ryan, he comes, destroys half a city, half the people love him, thinks he's a god, the other half thinks he's a total douchebag and he should die, right? Including Batman, it seems. But this is kind of the storyline I've been wanting. I mean, I wanted to see that, if a super strong being shows up on Earth, and what will happen? What will happen? What will Earth think of him? What would the different nations think of him? He gets questioned what he has to do and what he shouldn't do, who he should help, who shouldn't help. This is all cool stuff. So I hope that's the movie we finally get to see, but who knows?
Well, and did he ever have a statue before he died?
Yeah. There's even.
But I can see humans putting up a statue real fast for a guy that flies around, though.
Yeah,
don't destroy us. We'll pull up a statue in your honor.
Yeah,
I could see that happening real fast.
I'm pretty sure various stories have. I think even Alan Moore.
I could see some other country going, "Hey, we'll worship you. Come here."
That cover with Alan Moore had one of him, but that was
that's the Man of Tomorrow.
The Man of Tomorrow one.
Yeah.
I don't. Well, and the other thing is this is going to be a tricky movie in the sense of if it's going. I mean, is it going to focus on Superman, or is it going to focus on Batman, or is it going to focus on?
I think it's still a Superman movie at the end of the day.
So it's one of those things where, well, that's hilarious because if it's a Superman movie, Batman really is what they're trying to use to sell it.
Oh, of course.
I hopefully one of the most impressive things about the Avengers movie when it came out was. And I don't remember where this came out, but somebody totaled up the amount of time each person got.
They got screen time with each of the characters in an equal amount of time during the film.
That was kind of amazing to sort of think about. And I'm guessing they're going to do something similar with this. Neither one is necessarily going to. I'm guessing you're going to have these parallel storylines that then bring them together.
Right. Well, here's the thing. We had Superman's kind of origin. Mm-hmm. And we just had 3 Batman origin movies, right? We had 3 movies that really set up Batman. Even though they're not the same, we've just had that. I think it's very easy for DC to say, look, people know Batman. We've already set up Superman. This is the movie where they just go. So now we're dealing more with how does the world react to him, more political aspect, more sociological aspect of the character, and really the formation of their, I'm assuming, friends. I mean, because if this movie ends and Batman and Superman hate each other and they're fighting the whole movie and it doesn't end with them being friends and stopping Lex Luthor, I kind of question that. I don't know what the point of that would be. I don't want them to hate each other.
So what you're saying is
bullshit.
The movie's going to end with Wonder Woman coming out, smacking them both down and saying, what the hell are you doing?
No, I was just thinking of an Omar answer. I don't want to say it or to happen.
Here's what I have to assume. We get this whole new movie. We get this whole setup where Superman, again, loved by some, hated by others. Here comes Bruce. I actually read a weird thing that, Luthor, some plot synopsis thing that someone was claiming that Luthor sends Superman to go take out Batman or something weird like that. And I was like, that doesn't seem, I don't believe that. I'm assuming we get the world views him. Batman's like, oh shit.
And
I have to go.
It's weird, but they've already established this as a older Batman, a Batman that's already experienced, already knows what he's doing. I'm kind of assuming coming out of some sort of retirement.
Not necessarily, maybe, but not necessarily.
I don't think they're going to go that Dark Knight.
How far into possible spoilers do we want to go? Because I saw something that I kind of wish I hadn't. There's a graveyard. Has anyone seen this?
No.
What? Where did you see this?
Okay, this was on Bleeding Cool and a few other sites, and of course, fucking people make the head image the spoiler.
Well, how'd you see this?
It was on a bunch of websites over like a Monday.
But is it in a trailer?
No, these are pictures taken from one of the sets.
Okay.
And do you guys want to know?
Yeah, just hurry up. Spoiler, everybody that's listening,
okay,
go for it.
I mean, potential spoiler, obviously. And again, I'm kicking myself that I saw this, but now I'll just ruin
Bruce
it for
is
everyone.
already dead?
Now I'll just ruin it for everyone. There's one of the tombstones is Richard Grayson.
Oh.
Yeah. So
that's it. I'm not watching the movie no more. I'm done.
So very possible a Batman comes out of retirement for this. Or it very well could be that's why they killed him in Final Crisis, and he's like undercover, right? Like, yeah. I mean,
yes, I'll watch the movie again. I'm in. I mean, it's spin-off Grayson spy movie.
It's very possible that they're like, Bruce Wayne has to be a public figure, but all my, Batgirl and Robin and these people are not. They don't exist. They are Nightwing and Robin and Batgirl and whatever full time. So I mean, it's possible that they go in that sort of direction with it, which is again, totally possible. But who knows?
As long as it's not Joker injecting
it could be total bullshit
into,
too.
Tim Drake.
Like I said, it could be total bullshit. There is a supposed post-Avengers scene.
Josh Whedon already came out and said it was bullshit.
But I'm like, it's the fucking cover is the spoiler, and I'm like, are you kidding me? And then they came out and said it's fake. Yeah. So hoping, knock on wood, that it is, because again, I hate being spoiled. If you go searching for it, you deserve to be spoiled. I don't want to see that be the front image on a normal ass website, not marked as spoiler. Cover that shit up. That is bad. Anyone that does that shit.
That's what I think of my neighbor whenever I look at it. Not kidding.
So, okay. Well, there we go. Fantastic Four trailer. It doesn't feel like the Fantastic Four to me. I don't.
It's really, really bizarre. From the get go, Landis is writing, right? Yeah. I hate that guy. I absolutely freaking hate.
He's kind of a dickbag.
If I could strangle someone in Hollywood, he'd be the first guy on the list. I seriously do not like this guy, right? So he's a douchebag, and everything I read about this movie is horrible and horseshit, and I don't like it. And the trailer came up, and everybody hates it. It seems like, or not necessarily hate it, or they were just kind of blah about it.
The first one or the second one?
The first one, the second one too, right? And everybody's kind of blah about it. It's really weird. I hate to say it, but I actually kind of like it. I really do. I just kind of feel like the Fantastic Four should be kind of a little, more sciencey, more mellowy, kind of, not in your face. I don't know. I just kind of feel like this is right. Even if Johnny Storm is, African American guy, I don't know. Everything feels kind of right to me right now.
See, that's the thing.
But don't know. Who knows when the movie comes out, right? I really don't know. I mean, it's a trailer. I like these kind of trailers, though.
For me, the first trailer was like, whoa, okay, this doesn't... I'm not sure what I expected, but this feels so different. The second trailer...
but I like different, though. I mean, we had the classic sort of Fantastic Four already.
They fixed it, so it's no longer the image.
Maybe it was another site that had it as the front image. I can't remember what site.
Yeah, but it's some...
I mean, to me, it's really odd of how aged the original two Fantastic Four movies look at this point already. I mean, they're not that old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so it's beyond me that this new trailer makes that seem so old already at this point.
Well, it's the main reason why, and even like the past movies don't necessarily feel fully on like a Fantastic Four movie to me, is so much of the Fantastic Four kind of revolves around the fact that they're a family.
Right, and I don't get any of that in that.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's a trailer, though. Like, say you don't know until you watch the movie.
Oh, right? There's plenty of trailers that made me think the movie would be the best thing ever, and then I realized what they showed me in the trailer was the only good thing about the movie.
Yeah,
and
that's two.
That's an old joke. That's an old joke. Move on. Keep going, Charlie.
So, well, my thing with this is even the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, which I did not like at all, I still feel the influence from the comics. I feel the feelings that the comics portray I feel Spider-Man in there.
The essence of Spider-Man is in the film.
In some fashion, right? This trailer for FF, both the first and second one, maybe because it's a little closer to the Ultimate FF, which
it's totally the
never
Ultimate
cared
FF.
for.
It totally
it
is.
It has none of the feelings of the Fantastic Four in it. I don't, you can say, okay, and we have that a lot of this stuff is based off the Ultimate Universe, which is true.
Yeah.
But when I watch Avengers and when I watch Cap, when I've even Hulk,
you feel the classics stuff.
I feel Stanley and Jack Kirby in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I feel the classic storylines. I feel their influence to some degree or another. Even the movies I haven't liked, I still feel it. This trailer, I'm getting a weird... The X-Men movies maybe split the difference. They're not as true to the original material as the Marvel Cinematic movies have, but they developed their own style that works for me.
Well, First Class really did that. Like, First Class...
I think First Class feels like the least like the comics.
I remember watching the First Class trailer going... Okay,
which is why I was not interested in it.
Yeah,
at all.
I wasn't interested, but then I was blown away by the movie. It was amazing.
Both First Class and Days of Future Past do not have the feeling of the comic books to me at all, but they're good movies.
Yeah,
decent to good movies.
First Class is the best X-Men movie.
No, I disagree.
You both disagree, my friend.
The thing,
I like it, but it's middle of the road.
No.
The thing about Days of Future Past is while it doesn't necessarily feel like the source material from the comic books, it feels like a comic book in a way. And what I mean by that,
to me, it really didn't. To me.
The way you kind of set up this premise of having these two different timelines and having them cross and setting up sort of the character to travel, like it kind of feels like a comic book style progression of the story to me, based on where the movies are at. Like if they were doing a series of comic books, then they did a series of, okay, we want to go back and mess with the origin, and then we want to have a crossover between the classic and the new, like kind of what you get in some of these throwback stories by, especially stuff like Jeff Johns, where they kind of talk about Zero Hour or like it's
like Superman Secret Origins or even Green Lantern Secret Origins, where it's the same telling of an origin, but it's slightly different. It gives it's a different look, it's a different feel, so on and so forth. Where the Fantastic Four movie, like you said, there's the Thing and Johnny Storm when he fires up are about the only two things that seem Fantastic Four out of that whole trailer. Like even seeing him, Reed's arm go limp and Invisible Girl start to become invisible, you're just kind of like, it's not really there. The chemistry's not there with those characters.
Well, there's no chemistry.
They didn't show, really.
Well, for her, they just showed her like laying down and it's starting to happen to her.
Well, but what I'm saying is you're right. The movie will succeed or fail based on the chemistry between the characters in a Fantastic Four movie. Despite
Fantastic Four and then Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer, despite them being not necessarily the best movies, they still tried to make them feel like they were the Fantastic Four.
They had the right chemistry between Ben Grimm and Johnny Storm, and but they did not have really the right
Reed Richards
chemistry
or the Sue Storm one.
Yeah.
But it's again, you have to. But the look of those characters felt more like the Fantastic Four overall.
So in general, I think especially because of the X-Men movies, I don't get so caught up into there's very little about if you were reading comic books at the time versus going to see the first X-Men movie, you don't kind of look at those and go, oh my God, they brought these characters directly out of the comic page. No, it's sort of like, okay, they tried to make costumes that made a bit more sense and like they took the stuff. But what kind of came down to is they got that chemistry and the relationship between Xavier and Magneto perfect. They recreated certain key scenes that make it felt like it came out of the comic books. And even the stuff they kind of tweaked with, like the Age of Rogue and like a lot of that stuff didn't really detract from the movie. It just felt a little different.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think a lot of this is whether or not you can get the chemistry that comes across in all of this history between the comic books for the different characters. Like, you can't say that they didn't nail the chemistry also between, like, Cyclops and Wolverine in those movies.
No, they did a good job with those.
Just, a lot of it is going to be sold based on both the relationships of characters who get along and don't get along from comic books.
All right, let's...
Now, that Jurassic World trailer that was just out that Ryan hasn't watched yet.
No, I'm out.
Awesome.
I'm done.
That was pretty
trailers.
awesome.
No more trailers.
The Star Wars trailer next.
We don't have time. Star Wars is a comic book.
That's okay. Thank the Patreon people.
We got questions. Yeah, I will. We got questions to answer.
And we got to thank people.
But I cried when I saw Han Solo and Chewbacca.
We'll talk about it next week. Well,
are we done with the podcast?
No, well, I got a couple questions I want to ask here.
Oh.
But before that, we're going to thank Albert Soy, Ryan Heston, his Region Free Gaming podcast at rfgpodcast@wordpress.com, and Julian Titus at the Nerds Without Nerds Without
No
Podcast.
Pants?
Nerds Without Podcast.
Nerds Without Pants podcast at pixelbit.com. That's
Are you going to buy them the shirt you saw at Disneyland?
The one where with
Donald Duck.
with
This
no
shirt
pants?
is so awesome that I don't need no pants.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Just
They should
excellent.
get it.
was it?
Do you think it'd be weird to have open my door one of these days with that shirt on with no pants on? Yeah, the mailman would go, "What the hell?"
Well, go listen to their podcasts. Thank you, guys. Thank you for supporting us on Patreon. And if you want to support us, patreon.com/comicconspiracy.
Ooh,
There you go.
I like your shirt, Ryan. The
Thank
Pogues.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Aren't these the guys that would do a Christmas album and they drink and they sound like a bunch of drunkards recording?
They don't sound like a bunch of drunkards. They are a bunch of
Oh,
drunkards.
okay, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pogues. How Shane McGowan is still alive, I have no idea.
It's excellent.
Dude, you ever see some pictures of this guy?
No, I only heard
man.
them.
It's
But
amazing.
it's pretty brilliant, though. I like the music a lot.
Fairy Tale in New York, yeah. It's their Christmas
I,
song gets played a lot.
I love their music. It's pretty awesome.
Hey, you ever see a man with like 4 teeth? Shane
Yeah.
McGowan.
Oh, okay.
He's a rough fucking guy.
You don't need teeth to drink.
He's a rough fucking guy, but one of the most amazing lyricists and most amazing
That's
singers
awesome.
ever. He's incredible, if you can understand him. I got a couple questions here. Let's burn through a few. These Star Wars. I mean, next week. Okay, here's the thing. So next week, I'm going to suggest it to you guys on the air.
Ooh, on air.
I would like to record a regular episode on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. I would also like to record a second episode that was just an Avengers spoiler cast for the movie. Because it'll be the day after we see
like
Avengers.
a bonus?
Like about a half an hour bonus episode.
Because
I don't want to
be a half an hour. Come on, man. Come on, dude.
A 2-hour-long spoiler cast.
Yeah. There we go. More realistic.
So if you guys are up for that,
And it's going to be 4 hours with Bryce is here, too.
I would like to do that.
No, Bryce is
won't,
there on
'cause you won't
Thursday.
have seen it.
It'll be 4 hours the next week.
Next week, yeah, it'll be 4 hours with Bryce. So we could do
As
maybe
he does the rebuttal to our spoiler cast.
Maybe we could do a Star Wars special recording next week for the trailer, and we could have a half an hour trailer discussion, and then a regular episode will be the spoiler cast for Avengers. We'll figure it out. But in the meantime,
Oh, wait. There's going to be a real trailer coming out with this
what's that?
for Star Wars. Is that what you're saying?
No.
I'm
Oh.
saying we'll record an extra segment for the Star Wars trailer talk since
Oh.
we're running a little long tonight.
Okay.
Yeah,
Tonight?
next week.
Oh, okay.
So give you time to watch it a few more times.
Okay.
Charlie, you've seen it how many times?
I've only seen it twice.
I've seen it a lot more than twice, but I'm not sure how many times.
We'll have another week to watch it a few more times. We have a question from Armando here on Twitter. We got a lot of really good questions this week. Unfortunately, we can't get to them all, but maybe I'll bookmark a few of these. He asks...
We wasted a lot of time talking about bloody trailers.
Wow. He asks, how well do female titles sell? Are they as popular in shop as they appear to be with digital sales?
Well, Ryan definitely sells one each at least because I'm the one that's buying them. But beyond that, I don't know.
It depends. I mean, comic books, male or female, sell good and bad. So some have done better than others. Batgirl, we dropped about 25% post the Simone launch. That is counter to industry wide, which have, sales to comic shops are up probably about 25%. Spider-Woman took a huge hit for us when she shifted into that new costume. I don't know if that was just because people were trying out the series for Spider-Verse or if people really don't like the new costume, but I'm down about 40% on that series from the last two issues.
Spider-Gwen's fallen.
Silk is... I just ordered too many Silk. It has actually done very well. Silk is outperforming Spider-Gwen for us. Silk is outselling most Marvel comics. Not all.
You know
but
what Silk
most
feels like?
I like Silk a lot.
Do you know what it feels like?
What's that?
The Amazing Spider-Man movies.
Maybe a little bit.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, she's cool. I've liked her character and everything.
Yeah.
Spider-Gwen, number 1, we sold more copies than almost anything else this year. Number 2, however, and number 3 plummeted about 75%. So we were down about 25% of what we sold in number 1 of Spider-Gwen.
Well, here's my 2 cents.
Speculators came out of the woodwork for that number 1.
Here's my 2
and
cents.
No one else.
Here's my 2 cents on it. I was very excited for it because everybody seems to really love freaking Spider-Gwen for some reason.
After one appearance, yes, everyone loved her.
Everybody loves her, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't have that issue in stock from the Spider-Verse one.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. I read number 1. I didn't understand what the hell was going on.
Did you read the one-shot issue? The Edge of Spider-Verse one?
No, that's what I'm saying.
We've gotten it back in a couple times for new printings.
Yeah, I never read that, but I was
I don't know.
number 1 and I was confused.
Yeah, so I don't know if I've mentioned in the podcast or not.
You hate Spider-Gwen?
The costume is cool. The art is cool. The story is garbage. I did not care for that one shot at all. The character's cool looking.
Yeah. But Spider-Gwen lives.
And then when I read the issue 1 and 2, and I'm like, nope, I'm done. This is really bad. I cannot get into it. And I'm clearly not the only one, because at least here, the book
really
has fallen.
Lost. I'll be honest, I've been really lost. I like
it's an
I like Silk book, the Silk book a lot.
I like Silk a lot, yeah.
But Spider-Gwen, yeah.
Spider-Gwen, sales for us are terrible. Industry-wide, amazing for the first couple issues. We don't know where, 4 or 5 is, I think you're going to see just an insane drop.
And I guess just to put in my 2 cents, when he says he saw a huge drop, that means we have a lot left in the shop.
Right.
That doesn't mean that...
I bought it way too many copies,
Yeah.
so the sales for 2 and 3 are still very high. Once you hit 4 or 5...
Yeah.
Most stores, I'm assuming, will be order quite a lot less, because I honestly think she's a cool. Well, and here's the thing: it's not that I sell 4 copies or anything like that. I'm still selling a decent amount of copies, not as much as Silk, but more than at least half of the Marvel Universe. I mean, it's top 50%. That's a good book, but it is not the crazy amount of fandom that came out for that book, and what the belief of digital sales are, because Marvel and DC don't talk numbers on those, because I don't think they want to know how many people are actually downloading comics. It's not going to... I mean, she'll do 18 issues, maybe 24.
She's going to survive Secret War?
Oh, yeah. Obviously, yeah. All the new Marvel books are fine, at least through Secret Wars.
See, that's one of those things that I'm super curious about, just because the whole idea going into Secret War is all these multiverse get destroyed.
Yeah,
so it's weird still having multiverse books.
Yeah. Storm, Captain Marvel.
Miss Marvel.
No, Storm and Captain Marvel are both tied for bottom of our Marvel orders, along with Wolverine's.
Am I wrong to think that there was a Black Captain Marvel years ago in the Brown Coat Avengers?
Phantom, yeah, or Photon. Sorry, Photon.
Is that her name? Not Captain Marvel?
No, it was. She was Captain Marvel. Now she's Photon.
Now she's Photon.
I don't know what. She has a better. Monica Rambeau, is that her name?
Okay,
she
was in that white costume, right?
Yeah,
it's the. Is she in New Avengers?
I don't think so. White costume.
Yeah. She's still around? Mm-hmm. Oh, good.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, not a ton right now.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman's, our sales on Wonder Woman are down maybe 10% from...
It's because the genius of Azarella is no longer
Yeah,
around.
I mean, it's still selling really well.
Oh, that's good.
Comparatively to a lot of books, but it's down a little bit.
Yeah. It is interesting that they kind of did the
Catwoman
back Donna Troy and all of that in the Wonder Woman. So
I'll be curious if that pops up a little bit. Catwoman's been circling the drain for a year now.
What's hilarious
But I'm assuming Harley Quinn is still crazy good sales?
Not as good as the charts. I have a lot of books that outsell Harley. It's good. It probably sells about as much as Silk does. It's good.
So overall, our girl titles are not doing too well.
Some are doing very well. Some are not doing as well.
Which one's doing very well, then?
Well, I mean, I would think Silk and Harley are those are good selling titles.
Lazarus does okay.
Those are on the
characters.
If you count Image stuff, Lazarus does well. Velvet does very well.
Yeah.
Speaking
of Brubaker,
for an Image book,
Lady Mechanica.
Velvet, Lady Mechanica, we sell a shitload of.
That's an art book for me.
That's an art book. Yeah. Black Widow, very mediocre.
But that's just book sorted out.
It's a good book.
Yeah,
not that I've read the last.
I really can't.
But
I can't wait for all these new post-convergence books though by DC. What's it called? The Power Girl Harley. The Teen Titans.
Starfire looks great.
Yeah, I can't wait for those. I'm really excited for those
She-Hulk
books.
did okay, right?
But the book was
minimal.
Not bad.
Oh, I love the book.
Yeah. The book was great.
Minimal sales, but again, this isn't like a female thing. I mean, I think this is. I have as many books that have all male characters sell equal or less.
Yeah.
I mean, the Wolverine book is tied for our lowest selling Marvel comic right now. Like, it's not. This isn't like girl comics. I mean,
the titles sell how they sell. It's whether or not the main character is a female or a male or
it's
a
kind
cape
of
or not cape. It's just they sell what they sell.
Yeah.
How is female Thor doing?
Oh, perfect example. Tied for a best-selling Marvel comic.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
Tied with Amazing Spider-Man for our best-selling Marvel comic.
Nice.
So
funny enough, two titles that don't have anything to do with continuity in the Marvel universe.
Well, I mean, they have their
hilarious.
own. They have their own continuity. Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Right. That's one. Yeah. Outsells Harley and Spider-Gwen and everything else. The female Thor is. I mean, obviously, I have a number of DC books that sell a whole Justice League, Batman. I mean, all the big titles.
Have they revealed who she is?
They sell way more. Next issue.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Are we taking bets?
I mean, I'm assuming it's that Shield chick. I mean, that's
they
what
all but
is.
spelled it out in this last issue.
Yeah.
So unless they were completely doing the kind of trolling of, look, we're giving you every indication possible.
Yeah.
Then
I haven't read it. I'll read it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, next question.
Angela circling the drain too.
Angela's not down the drain?
It's almost there. Let's see. You had a couple questions asking about Iceman. I don't know if you guys heard the news today, but Iceman. Let me rephrase this.
So there might be a new reason why he was rooming with Peter Parker.
Alternate reality Iceman from the past.
That's in the future.
That's now in the future has been telepathically outed as apparently having gay thoughts. I guess it's
what
by alternate reality Gene from the past. Yes. So
does this have anything to do with him dancing on a pole?
A version of Iceman is gay.
Really?
I mean, yeah.
But if I understand, it's the all-new X-Men Iceman, right?
Right, yeah.
But they even mentioned that the older Iceman is not.
Well,
God, we can get in so much trouble if we don't talk about this.
But that's the thing, right? By coming to the future, they have now become their own. They become an alternate reality because they've.
Wait,
so what they're going to do is mind wipe his gayness
from the past.
Yeah.
Yes,
they are.
That's what they're supposed to be, right?
Wow.
Yeah, the all new X-Men kids are the
and they get mind wiped.
Original.
They already explained it like 5 times in like the first few issues of the series that they're basically going to get mind wiped.
I'm even going to ask why.
I don't think they're going to get mind wiped at this point. I think they broke everything. We're going to go into Battle World, and
it's
things
funny.
are going to be a new status quo coming out
It's funny
of it.
because no one told Jason Aaron during his run of Amazing X-Men that's been going on recently where he's totally heads over here for Firestar. So I don't know. Marvel should
Firestar?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Marvel should get their ducks in a row.
Wait. But is it actually that young Iceman?
No, it's
the regular Iceman, right?
The regular 616.
Yeah, but this
Iceman.
is what they're saying in those panels I read. That they're saying also that the older Iceman is actually not gay. It's just the younger one,
right?
I'm confused.
Hey, he was experimenting at the time. Okay, it was college for him. It was a new thing. Which goes back to that tweet I found of that Marvel whatever Saga stuff where he's like dancing on a pole.
Yeah.
I was like, what the heck is this?
So Iceman being gay is a kind of a long running joke.
But hasn't he like bumped nasties with like Mystique?
Yeah, exactly.
Half of the females in the he's like the man whore of the X-Men universe.
He is. wanted to sleep with many ex-women, yes. Whether he has that, I don't think he really has been very successful.
Bryce is sitting there going, he has slept with this and
he was going after Kitty Pryde for a while too. So yeah,
not too long ago.
Yeah, so I mean, it just seems like a weird. I mean, cool, okay, fine. Iceman's gay, awesome. All right, that's fine. I have no problem with that.
Who did he have gay thoughts about?
They don't say. But they just So it seems like a weird. It seems like the being gay is not the problem. It's you've changed all this. This doesn't make sense with the continuity of the character. Like if this was again like a New 52 reboot style, okay, sure, fine. Alan Scott's gay, awesome, okay.
It's too bad.
Character.
It's too bad him and Colossus couldn't be.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Colossus is gay?
When you
Really? Which version?
I don't know.
There's one. Which one? I forgot which one.
Is it Ultimate? I have no idea. I don't think so.
Really?
There was one Colossus.
Boy, did I not read these books right.
I'm right, Charlie. There's one version of Colossus that was gay.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember.
I don't know.
It might have been.
I think it was the Ultimate one.
I read all those books. I actually read them.
They just can't. They never are in the right dimension.
It just seemed weird to do this, but okay, well, whatever. I mean,
next question.
Yeah, there you go.
Next question.
All right,
come on. Let's try and get another one. No,
let's see. This one's from Stefano.
What's up, Stefano?
This is a fun question. He says, "What is the lowest point in your comic reading career, and why?"
Like where we're just drugged out and just sprawled out on comic books.
Lowest, however you want to take
without pants, just reading.
Yeah.
When I move is my lowest point of my comic book reading career.
Move here or move down?
No, whenever I move.
Just when you move.
Yeah, whenever you have to move your collection, I think that's the low point.
You go like, what happened to my room that's never ending? I'm keep dragging boxes of comic books out and toys out, and it's not ending.
You keep imagining this is going to turn into that warehouse in Indiana Jones, isn't it? This is so going to
No, you just kind of start questioning what you did with your life. That there shouldn't be so much freaking junk in your room.
That's funny.
When the comic shop I used to go to burned down, that was a pretty low point.
This burned down?
Was there a comic you wanted to buy at the time in the shop?
Not my shop.
No, they're
Legends burned down?
No, Comics and Comics on California Avenue. I've talked about this a couple of times.
California Avenue
burned down when I had a subscription box there and everything. So that was where I'd go.
So you're like, screw the store. Where are my comics?
Well, this was back in the go to the shop every Wednesday, buy everything out of my box, take it home, show up there one Wednesday. They've boarded up the shop. They have various things out front that they're
Actually,
selling
I don't think I've ever heard the story from you before.
That survived the fire, lots of random crap.
Did you cry?
I didn't cry, but
Charlie's more like, how am I going to read my books?
Where's my third leg?
That is, if there was any point in time where there's probably an alternate version of me out there that probably got out of comic books, it was probably then, because until I landed here, I didn't have a regular Wednesday shop, and I didn't land here for at least a year. I literally did the kind of like, sometimes I'd go here to pick up my books, sometimes I'd go here to pick up my books, and then I landed here, and it was the back issues with because this also lined up, when I started shopping here, also lined up when I had a good paying job for the first time. So I started coming in here. I'm like, I always liked the Mask comics. So you remember you were here when I first started. I'm like, can you put all of these books in my box?
I actually do remember that. Yeah, you were like this crazy Mask fan.
I guess my low point would have been I had a pull box at Brian's Books years ago, and it just got to the point like financially, like I had to pay rent, start paying rent, and like all this stuff, and I just couldn't get.
It's not every day that you work with me. That's not your low point.
Oh, I know.
You just told my low point with Ryan to the world right now is me fucking ordering shit I can afford, and me owing Ryan lots and lots of money, and having to work for free for many, 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 many weekends, and still having to give him money on top of that afterwards, and then somehow was eventually even out.
No, I would order stuff out of previews, and I like walked away from the
evil.
I know, especially this month. I walked away from like the pull box and stuff like that because I just felt bad and ashamed and embarrassed in a little bit. But I like literally took all of my old Magic cards there and said, "Here, if you can do something with these like a year or two after.
Should have held on to them because those were probably.
No, you know what happened to those cards? The guy that bought it before Anna did, put it in storage and then didn't pay the storage.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, I have my lowest point story.
You worked at Legends?
No, well, that's pretty bad too. No. So a little bit manga anime related. I was a big Saint Seiya fan growing up, and I collected the figures, right? So, as I grew up in Switzerland, my mom was like, all your favorite shit, just put it in the cellar. It'd be the best. That's the safest place for you to put them there because
this sounds like
she didn't really want me to display all the figures, which I always did, right? She goes, you should study more because she's a very Asian mom and going, you shouldn't have all these toys around, so you should put them away. All your favorite shit should go in the cellar because that's the furthest point from me, having access to them. Going, that makes a lot of sense. I'll put them in the cellar where it's safe. Now, what happened was we hit a heat wave, and all the ice and the snow was melting on top of the mountains. So we had just these floods of water coming down. We had water about like up to your knees in the apartment. Ugh. That's in the apartment. Just you can imagine what happened in my cellar where all my favorite stuff was. I mean, every single figure I had was in the cellar.
Like
every comic book I had was in the cellar.
Floating figures in water.
It was pretty. I mean, we shut down school for a week. I mean, all our job was just to clean up the entire city. They were digging out the cars because we all parked underneath. They were pulling the cars out with cranes. We had to go save the neighbors on one of those rubber boats, and we would actually go to the second story balcony where they would come up, and we have to get them. Yeah, there was a giant flooding. Yeah,
that's crazy.
And of course, I put all my shit in the cellar.
I mean, my low point, probably just has to be about a period between like 94 and 96 where I was, I'm still in high school, just getting out of high school, not picking up that much stuff. I remember like my dad cleared out my box like once or twice for like Christmas or my birthday or something when I was a subscriber here.
That's a low point?
Well, right, that was a point where I was probably buying the least comics, because I bought a shitload of comics when I was younger, and then I bought, obviously...
Well, you had just moved out here.
It was like a year after I moved out here.
It was like...
And I didn't have like a after-school job or anything like that.
Yeah, because I remember when you first moved out here, it was still kind of... You had this awkwardness to you because it was a new environment, and like you were meeting new people, and...
Yeah, well...
You were weird, Ryan?
Yeah, I was going to say awkward then.
You should have seen him in high school.
Well, when I was back east, not only did I help out part-time at a comic store that was in the town I grew up in, I also had a paper route. So as a kid, I was...
You're a paper man?
I was flush with cash. I had a ton of cash.
Wait, so the Game Boy game I was playing was Ryan Higgins?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So for a kid, I had money.
Yeah.
So I bought comics constantly, right?
Yeah.
I was buying a shitload. Again, in comparison to be a little kid in the late 80s, early 90s, I had a ton of cash. So when I was here in the early mid 90s, I didn't have a job.
That was the glory days of the New Warriors, and you were not able to buy it.
No, I would buy a few things, right? Like my allowance.
You were like, the New Warriors is out, but I don't have money to get it.
My allowance would go to... You also started to get into like D&D and gaming.
I was always into that.
Did you ever come and steal books?
No. Steelbooks? No.
You're like, that New Warriors is out, but I can't have it. I'm going to just run out with it.
I would help out here a little bit during sales, and I would do food runs and stuff for the guys. So, I would get
a couple of books here and there.
My allowance didn't go to food or anything. My allowance is the comic books and magic cards and everything. So,
nice.
I found ways to buy stuff, but that was definitely a low point. In 97, not only did I start working here, that's when Grant Morrison's Justice League came out, and that was sort of my real big getting back into superhero books, because there was a good couple of years there where I wasn't reading.
You were a rock.
I was reading a couple of Vertigo books. Like that was it. I was doing like Sandman Mystery Theater and I was in high school.
DC, fuck Marvel.
Well, I was, yeah. I got out of Marvel real fast. DC I never was really into when I was younger, but I liked the Vertigo. I got into the Sandman and all the Vertigo
When
stuff.
I first met you, you were very much into like Sandman.
Yeah, yeah.
I can see that because I've seen pictures of you with the mascara and the dark hair and black clothes.
Well, and that's the thing is like...
I got this Ankh earring when I was like 13 years old.
You still have it.
Well, it's not the same one, but I keep replacing it.
Well, you and I started talking over a Wizard magazine.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I still would. Oh yeah, good old Wizard. Yeah. I mean, I liked the superhero stuff. I just didn't buy or read a lot of them, and so I started to get more, and especially '97 when Morrison's Justice League came out, because I followed him over from like Invisibles and his Vertigo work, and I was like, this is the superhero stuff that I want. So that was kind of the thing that got me back into the superhero books. Okay. So, I mean, I am that rare person that didn't stop buying comics. Most people, they buy a couple when they're a kid, they buy them when they're an adult and they have money.
So the low point is when he stopped buying books?
I was only buying a handful. I never stopped.
Oh, so I really got the stories wrong.
Or if something's destroyed, like in your case, it's...
Whatever your low point is.
Well, like, your low point for, like, movies and music would have been the...
Well, if you asked me what the low point for my music collection was, it was one of the last...
Yeah, I was going to say, you had the opposite effect. I had water, you got fire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So...
We're like Iceman and Firestar.
And what's hilarious is your comic books were like... that room was untouched.
Yeah. Oh, but the low point of my life in comic books is when the fourth New Warrior series got canceled. That's there you go. That's my low point. No.
I thought it was the Penance.
I have
Penance miniseries.
Yeah, I've been very lucky as a collector from 91, I think 90, 91, whenever it was when I first bought my first comic. I've not stopped. I mean, there's at least something every month since new. Always. So. That's
I wasn't quite monthly, but I never really stepped away though.
Yeah. I stepped away a couple times, but
I mean, a lot of people do when they're in high school and kids. And,
like right after high school, or you're just getting a job, or you
There's a couple times I want to stay out, but can't.
No, I never fully stopped. Like back when the cable comics were good, I would always make sure that I'd get the latest issue from somewhere. I just never always got it from the same place.
Well, I've had a subscription since 1993 somewhere. So 20 over 20 years at some between.
You still consider it a subscription?
I should say literally between two stores, Paper Heroes and here. Those are the only two shops I've ever had them at. So that's it.
Well, Comics Conspiracy and Comics and Comics are the only two places I've ever had a subscription, but there was about a year gap where I was just
I'm not
going wherever.
I had one at Brian's Books. I don't have one here.
Yeah, you actually do not have a subscription here. Which is really funny.
But you know what to order me, so it's like half the time it's like
no.
But that's why you put stuff in my box sometimes.
But then when you yell at me, you're like, "Oh, you put my copy of Manifest Destiny on the wall." I'm like, "Give me a subscription list, and I'll just pull your books for you."
It's the one copy of Manifest Destiny. All you need to do is go one copy.
Be here.
Yeah. Okay.
If it's on a list, I can pull it. If it's not, it ends up on the wall.
Or if he gets in random stuff, he'll just message me. Was this for you?
Yeah. Oh, like the Spider-Man 2099 trades. I was like, who the fuck ordered it?
Last week, all right, Charlie did.
We're going to wrap up here, but I got one last question I want to read because it's a good question.
One last question.
It's from Jeremy on Twitter. He asks,
Jeremy.
How do you recommend a person returning to monthly comics find a book that would spark their interest? This is a question we get a lot, and I always like to answer this when we can.
Isn't that easy? Or no?
You have to know a little bit more about the person.
What they want.
That's what I mean. Isn't it more internal question? So, Jeremy, how do you feel about your life, and where do you lay right now?
No. Let's start him out right.
What kind of clothes
Jeremy,
do you wear?
lay down on the couch. Get comfortable. Just listen to the soothing sounds of our voice.
Well, there's two.
They're not soothing at all. They're not soothing at all. Let's get clear.
He's going to put in the couch.
If you're looking for recommendations, I always
do not listen to us.
No, I always ask, what's your favorite movies? What's your favorite TV shows? What's your favorite books? Do you watch like the Marvel movies and DC movies? Do you not watch those? What do you like? But when you're in the store, staring at a giant rack of comics,
it is kind of daunting.
Well, what I always tell people the same thing, and you guys have heard me say this before, but I'll say it again.
You picked the book with the biggest boobies.
Well, there is that. No one's read Action Comics #1 to now in chronological order in order to catch up on Superman. That's not how it works. If the cover... Comic books, you really can sometimes judge a book by its cover. If a cover looks cool, that's sometimes all it takes. Pick up something that looks cool. I'll be
honest, that's actually very true.
It is. I can't... the cover may not have anything to do with what's inside.
Yeah, that's also
sometimes
really
covers tell you that there's nothing to do with
like it.
this inside.
Yeah. However... If something looks cool on the cover, you're going to find some aspect of that inside as well.
Yeah.
That's absolutely how I always pick my books is by the cover. I looked at the cover, it was like some kind of, cinematic kind of cover, like a cool cover.
Yeah.
Well, and
it's usually how I bought my books.
If you find something that you like, that's like a cover that you like, you just flip inside, and if it says part 2, see if they have part 1.
I never cared about that.
Don't even worry about that.
I just bought it.
I still suggest flipping through inside because sometimes there will be art inside the book. That
my originally first couple American books was Darkhawk, like number 2 or 3, and then a couple random issues of something else. And then I came back to the States and I bought Gambit number 2, and that became one of my favorite books of all time. And I never had number 1 and number 2.
But you had to track down number 1.
Years later, I can't track it down in another country.
But here's the thing.
There's no eBay at that time.
If you're coming in, you haven't collected in a while, and you want to see what's out there, and you're looking for something, like I said, do not hunt back the back issues. I mean, you can buy the trade paperbacks and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope.
Don't jump in. I have to have a number 1. No. Buy whatever looks cool.
I recommend Daredevil.
Wikipedia, the comic shop owners, this podcast, Twitter. You have so many ways to find out what happened in the previous issues. Yeah. And for the most part, in any good comic, you shouldn't have to worry what happened in the previous issues. Marvel have nice recap pages. DC don't, but the stories...
DC don't.
They don't, but they're generally not so confusing that you can't figure it out.
Yeah, no.
If you like the Daredevil TV show, come buy a couple issues of the Daredevil comic and give it a whirl.
I'm looking at this Marvel wall right now, and I'm like, the Punisher is kind of a cool cover. I'll probably buy that. The Black Widow looks really cool. I'll probably buy that. I don't know. Covers.
Just pick something up that looks cool. The whole buying back issues, first editions, trades, sorting. Worry about that later. Do that later. When you're invested,
I recommend against it.
Get in and find what you like, what you're going to enjoy. I mean, because that's really the key. I mean, Free Comic Book Day is coming up on May 2nd, so that's a great way to kind of just get a sampling of what's out there, and maybe there's something that entices you there that guides you in the right direction. But
that's a very good suggestion.
It's one of those things where it's again, this physical media, it's something that you're going to like, just like a regular book. If you're going to like it, you're going to like it. If you're not, you're not. So don't waste your money trying to get what you don't want.
Don't build a collection before you start to read it.
Yeah.
Are we done?
Damn it, that's what I've been doing wrong all these years.
I have a plug.
Okay.
I have a plug for my buddy Everett.
Okay.
He's on Indiegogo right now. He has a webcomic that he created a while ago, and he's wanting to do a little pilot, a little animation pilot out of it. It's called The Book of Mojo.
Okay.
About 10 days to go still, so I will probably plug it again next week, so I apologize. So if I'm, doing this twice, but yeah, go check it out. Give him your two minutes to watch the trailer, and if you like it, give him a couple bucks.
Do you got a link there, or is it what's it called?
It's just Indiegogo. Go check out the Book of Mojo, it's by Everett, and he's one of my animation guys.
Okay.
He was at Big Wow.
We didn't even do a Big Wow review.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about Big Wow.
I was thinking about that the entire podcast. I was like, we have all this stuff that happened, and we're not even mentioning it because of some silly trailers.
We'll have to talk about Big Wow.
We'll do a 4-hour podcast today.
We'll talk about Big Wow next week.
Anyways, go check out his stuff. He's a super nice guy. His project looks super cool. Again, I'll mention this again next week. Check it out. There's a nice little video featurette on there. So cool.
All right. Well, don't forget to listen to this episode and all our previous episodes at geekbox.net. Discuss this episode at forums at geekbox.net and the Geekbox and Comic Conspiracy Facebook group.
I have another plug.
Yes.
GTO, my comic book pick, that's out of print.
Yes.
Very simple. Go to Google, type in GTO manga, and there you could just read it. There's the first 2 links.
Comics Conspiracy does not recommend reading comics illegally on the internet.
It's out of print. Why is it illegal?
It is illegal. You should not do that. You should go to Amazon instead and buy a very poor copy for like $1.50 off some seller.
That's true.
Because they're very cheap on Amazon.
Are they really cheap?
They're very cheap.
Now,
is it on Comixology?
No,
because the company's on
Tokyo Pop, I don't believe, has it.
Yeah, I don't even think they're around. Yeah, and I don't. The sequel, or I think it's a prequel. Actually, the early years is actually picked up by another company.
It's Vertical.
Yeah. So, it's the original run GTO. Go read it. It's an awesome, awesome book.
Also on Facebook, you should go to the Comics Conspiracy Store website tomorrow at 11 a.m. and register to win 4 tickets to see Avengers Age of Ultron with all of us on Monday.
I may hold your hand.
Digital.comicsconspiracy.biz. Go there to buy all your digital comic books. Patreon.com/comicconspiracy. Go there to donate some money to the podcast, pay for hosting and everything. Always appreciated. ConspiratorBrock.com. That's Brock's website. Go there and check him out.
High def video.
I know.
And do not forget about the Infinite Long Glass podcast and Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension podcast. Those are Charlie's podcasts. Brock's blog, Charlie's podcast.
Charlie, at this point, is going to be like a professional podcaster. He's like, Kevin Smith, how many is he? I got more.
He's all over the place. We're on Twitter, Ryan Higgins Ryan. Brock is Brock Sager. Bryce, hopefully, should be joining us.
Larson Bryce.
Hopefully.
I think he should just change his Twitter handle to Bryce
in
briefly.
2 weeks. Larson Bryce. Toby's Toby XI. Charlie's Insanity and Chaos. Don't forget to listen to Geekbox, Comedy Button, Good Job Brain, and the All Talk podcast. Some other podcasts on our little Geekbox network. Go listen to those. They're good. That's all I've got. We'll see you next week after we've seen Avengers Age of Ultron.
So that's our bonus episode, no?
I mean, we'll do something. I don't know. I got to figure it out.
And then we're actually going to talk about our cons the following week.
We'll have
like a week late, like we usually do.
We'll just do like 4. We'll do like literally 2 full episodes and release one as a bonus episode, maybe.
Hashtag spoilered.
Yeah, sure. We'll figure something out next week. I don't need to sleep. It's
cool.